I nominated Sloan Fencing because the company's been successful in reinventing itself. They started out working in the forest industry in the early 90s. When that kind of lagged, they saw a need to transfer their skills to something else and looked around and saw that security in our country is becoming more and more important, and they were able to transfer their skills from the forest industry into the security fencing. Thus, they've changed their name several times, and today they're doing business as Sloan Security Fencing.
At first, it was a very part-time, summer-type business, and then as they graduated from college and decided to make it a full-time business, have now grown it way beyond our wildest imaginations of a business that we started for summer employment for the boys as they were going through college.
I am the chief operational person at this company. I run all the projects or oversight on those that are running projects, figure out what projects we're bidding. They oversight the direction of the company, and I try and steer us into the places that we will be most successful at. So everything crosses my desk at one point or another. The buck stops here.
My name is Bryce Sloan. I'm the COO or CFO, as a small business, many hats. I really help our back-end work. I do our IT systems, I do our oversee our financials, I oversee a lot of our marketing, prepare the materials, and generally get whatever that needs to be done, I get that done.
Colin Sloan with Sloan Security Fencing, and I'm Vice President of Business Development. And what I do is present Sloan Fencing as a solution for contractors that need a good, competent security fencing contractor on difficult, challenging, complex, large projects involving security fencing across the United States.
I was in middle school days, so I was probably like 14, somewhere around there. And then we thought, well, we'll give it a shot, see where we can take it. Then need to make a little bit of cash, so parents are gonna feed us forever. So that's how it kind of took off.
When forestry died, and they could no longer get any contracts in the forestry area, then they had the opportunity with Dave Christensen to do their first fencing project. And so they took that opportunity and have taken one opportunity and made it into, a career.
I was out of college, I had no idea what I wanted to do, and I said, Mr. Christensen, tell me, what have you done? Give me some ideas here. And out of that has come I think now going on 13-year friendship and our first fencing project, but really foremost it's been a tremendous friendship.
Bryce came by after he graduated about 14 years ago. I was heading up the International Trade Department of the Idaho Department of Commerce, and Bryce came by and we got to talking and found out we had a whole bunch of shared interests. And my wife and I owned some property over in back of Baker, and we needed a fence to keep the cattle out. So Bryce said, well, he and his brothers could do it. And so from there on, they came over and did the job, and that was when they first created their fencing company.
Boise Airport decided they needed a third runway, and in conjunction with the Air National Guard, back in 2001, decided to build a third runway. This runway is a 5,000-foot long asphalt runway, and it needed to be surrounded with security fencing. From one vantage point at the airport, you can look down the south line of fencing and see over 13,000 feet of fencing in a perfectly straight line. That was a major accomplishment that we always enjoyed looking at, was fencing going off to the horizon, and it's always been our theme, was build as big a fences as possible, and that's what we were doing there.
We had a contractor that we contacted for a security upgrade in Seattle at the locks, the Lake Washington locks. And they had a pretty difficult task of trying to install or design a 26-foot wide gate that was 10 feet tall that was supposed to be crash rated for a 15,000-pound vehicle at 50 miles an hour. And then they came back with, it has to be aesthetically pleasing, and it can be very big. And so we had to meld multiple different products together to make it so that it was an ornamental, crash-rated gate that didn't take up all of the, didn't destroy the sensitive landscape that we had, the area we had to work in. We didn't decide to just come in with the big thing that was going to solve the problem, but take up a huge amount of space. And that was the first answer that everybody had, was the easy way out. And we came in with a more, we want to solve your problem approach. We want to find the correct answer, the best answer, that's most cost effective and the most efficient, and do it that way.
It's very family centric, and oftentimes we're babysitting here. So we've had a nursery, and of course we've had the artwork to show off what our little geniuses can do. Having children involved, I find it very creative. I learn a lot from my kids and how they do things and how they perceive people. And I think it makes you from being just a hardcore business person to a real well-rounded person.
Working with the brothers is, first of all, it's enjoyable because they're my brothers. We always got along as kids. Very rarely did we fight. You know, particularly Bryce and Greg are my older brothers, so I never could fight them because they were a lot bigger than I was. So even if I did have problems, there wasn't really any, I couldn't physically solve that problem.
We're really proud of the way they've been able to learn to work together. They always got along well growing up, always had normal sibling rivalry issues, but they still have some, and so Dad has to be the mediator sometimes, but they do a great job, so we're very proud of them.